Hi guys, welcome back to my rabbit hole of K-pop. I'm Atomic Rabbit. I just almost fell asleep on my couch and then I thought maybe just let recordings be for today and just go to bed. But then it would be too early. But then again, if I go to bed now, I will probably wake up in like 6 hours and it will be in the middle of the night and I won't be able to fall back asleep. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna get my peach off the couch, sit down, and record a few videos before actually going to sleep. I am going to watch Mark's Child MV. I really don't know what to expect. I only saw the teasers, but they really didn't give anything away. For me, Mark is one of those people that even if he isn't your bias, he still is. And not just a regular bias, he's like the ultimate bias. That's the kind of person that he is. And in all the time that I've been in K-pop now, which has only been 2 years, honestly, it feels like it's been 6 months. But in the 2 years that I spent in K-pop, I will never forget the first impression that Mark made on me. And I remember thinking, this is an odd guy. I can't really pinpoint him. I can't really figure out where to put him or what kind of person is he. He doesn't typically stand out because of looks, but he has this incredible charisma going on, and he is so talented that you can't ignore the guy. And then on top of that, he's just this genuine, kind, sweet, soft-hearted young man that just seems to be put in every single unit everywhere ever since he became active in K-pop. So he really is dear to me, and he really holds a very important role in my K-pop discovery. So this is something that I feel like has been a long time coming, but this is also something that he deserves. He deserves his own spotlight and to do this thing just for him. I don't want to elaborate on this any further before watching the MV, but I did want to say that because that's been on my mind the whole day while I was preparing to sit down and then almost fell asleep on the couch. So yeah, I wanted to give you that piece of my mind. I'm gonna watch the MV now. Let's go.
알아면 왜 항상 질문을 던지는 건데 Oh why 서두르다가 Oh why 서둘러지네 I'm no child 너가 바란 대로 못돼 Have a good night 저장간 필요 없다 It's my question, many questions 사람들이 바라본 난 누구야 Who am I, who are they 다른 밤 같은 nightmare Why kill my night 너가 부셔버린 밤에 내가 다칠 것 같아 I'll talk too much Don't waste my time 거기까지만 Hey I'll pull at the strings when I'm pissed 날 사람들 만나지 난 좀 Twisted but the fit is to the point 꿈이라는 게 세상이라면 내 머리는 그걸 빙빙 도는 earth all day I'm alert, it's a curse, yeah it hurts I don't know my own strength There's a lot that I don't know But you learn when you don't know Red on my Valentino 부실래 내 책임감 자유로운 때까지 뒤는 돌아봐 공만남이 되고 싶어서 이 사회와 프로페인이 불어와 I need to go now 투과해야 느껴지는 밤만 가시 길러 쉽게 못 넘기게 널 How I get so bitter Brother liquor I don't feel the same on a day Tell me later I'm no child 너가 바란 대로 못 돼 Ever 그날 자장가는 필요 없대 It's my question, many questions 사람들이 바라본 난 누구야 Who am I, who will be 다른 밤 같은 nightmare Oh why 혹시 누군간 공감할까 지금만큼은 알아주면 안 될까 Oh yeah sir Whoa yes. Yeah yeah Don't say No 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 I'm saying what's on my mind I'm trying to spend this day just like yes sir oh yeah
This is way too short. Way too short. I am not about comparing artists to one another when it comes to their music. And when I do, it's because it reminds me of a certain feeling that a certain artist evoked for me. And this, for me, reminds me of the feelings and the thoughts that I had when I watched RM's mixtape work, RM for BTS. And for some reason, I'm also reminded of Wonwoo from 17. And when I say I'm reminded of those, it's because there is a certain duality and a certain darkness that I felt when I watched RM's mixtape stuff and when I listened to those songs. There is this heaviness, like this dripping, dragging heaviness that comes with some of the things that these three people do or evoke for me. And that is why I sometimes name people or sometimes name songs when I'm watching someone else, because of that memory that for me lingers on. And it's not in any way to put people on a same sort of shelf. I remember that when Hoshi came on with Spider, I named Taemin also as someone that he reminded me of, but I explained why, and that it wasn't because it was like I was looking at a new Taemin, because there is no way you can copy a Taemin. There is no way you can become a new Taemin. No, there is only a way where you can do what Taemin does, which means become your own artist with a similar sort of power that Taemin has. And the same goes for Mark, with a similar sort of quality or a similar sort of emotion put in his tracks that some of the other genius rappers do. Because there is this thing with rappers, there is a certain pain, and singers can do that. I need to come back to my point of Taemin before I go further into this one. I remember that when I did that, like Hoshi Taemin comparison, I explicitly explained why, and there was a comment of someone saying a lot of people are comparing him to Taemin, and I was getting sick of it, but you are explaining what you mean, and I agree in that sense. I was like, okay, great, I did a good job, I explained myself well, because myself, I was watching some reactors, and they were all talking, I think there was no exception from any of the reactors that I've seen regarding Hoshi where he wasn't compared to Taemin. And that annoyed me as well. So that's why I stress this part of my commentary on this one. Rappers. I was making some sort of point regarding rappers and a certain darkness that there is. And I'm also naming Wonwoo specifically for 17 because he is that guy who sometimes he comes across as one of the most tortured spirits in this world. There's a lot happening inside of him. And I think I can put IM from Monsta X in that same sort of lineup. There are just these amazing artists that not only when they rap but also when they sing, there's an extra layer of emotion that is being conveyed that not everyone can hear. Most people hear what's on the surface, and then there are those that can hear what is not being said, or that can hear a melody that is underlying but not really pronounced or not really discernible. And Mark is one of those people. And I know he has this beautiful singing voice because it's kind of soft and restrained, which is the total opposite of his rapping voice. And this track displays that beautifully. It displays the softness and the inner battles that one can experience as a child, but more specifically as a star child, probably. Because you go through things and changes in thoughts, and you get confronted with realities that people who aren't in this line of business, or people who haven't been raised in a competitive environment, only get to deal with probably when they're past the age of 40. It's not without a reason that something like a midlife crisis exists. I also think that it must have taken a lot of courage for Mark to get to this point, because I see him as someone who only brings something out when he can visualize it, so when he has control over it. And I also think that he accepts that there are things that you can't control, but whatever he can, he has used that, put it to music, put it to words, and made it into this song. And having said all that, I don't think I've even come as far as peeling off half of the layers of this onion. And this is something that I will have to continuously listen to, like with every song that I listen to, because that's when you hear more things and when more things can reach you. With a first listen and even a second listen and watching it with an MV, that will never give you the full story. That MV also has a lot of maturity in it. It shows that youthful state of mind, but wrapped in that charismatic Mark jacket. Like Mark that we know and Mark that we didn't know. And the Mark that we didn't expect we would know, but when we watch this, it feels so familiar. I am glad that he made this first step. I think this will open a lot of doors for him artistically, for himself. I mean, from within himself, like inspirational wise, but also like that this gives him a possibility and the opportunity to express himself in a different way, personally. Thank you so much for joining me on my couch. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you on the next one. 안녕.